Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So what does food mean to you? Hey, this is Maria Liberati, and thank you for joining me today. And my guests today are two of Italy's top wine critics, and one is also a wine journalist and actually a film producer as well. And they are the authors of a book called The Big Atlas of Italian Wines. So they're going to tell us everything you'd love to know about Italian wines. And since we're devoting the topic to Italian wines, I thought I would bring up some important facts about Italian wines. So Italy is the world's largest wine producer. They produce more wine than any other country, with about 39,300 hectoliters of wine produced as of the latest data. And it's also the country with the widest variety of indigenous grapevines in the world. Italian wine has a really long history. Italian wine has been produced for over 4,000 years. The country's climate is perfect for viticulture, and wine had already become a part of the Italian everyday life by the time the Greeks first stepped foot in southern Italy. The quality levels of Italian wine are kept exceptionally high because Italians really take pride in their grape cultivation and wine production, and as a result, 2/3 of the country's wine is of either DOP or IGP. Both labels promise a bottle of wine that is authentic and filled with quality. There's a grape variety to choose from. So Italy has an extensive grape variety, with a country growing and using over, what did my guest say? Something like over 1,000 types of grapes to produce the eclectic range of wines that they do today. Italy's top 3 grapes in terms of production levels by the regions are Sangiovese, Trebbiano, and Montepulciano. Veneto is home to one of Italy's most popular and romantic tourist destinations, and Venice is also the largest wine producing region in the country. Italian wine and pasta are a perfect match. What could be more Italian than a glass of wine and a great bowl of pasta? So the Italian rule of thumb, although it's kind of changing, but the Italian rule of thumb has always been, for the food and wine pairings, it's pretty simple: red for red, white for white. So a red wine with a red sauce, white wine with a white sauce. The Italian wine scene is composed of about 310,000 farms and just over 45,000 winemaking companies. Wow, 45,000 winemaking companies. So stay with me as we hear from our two wine experts, and they are top wine critics in Italy. Stay with me. And my special guest today is Alessandro Avataneo. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Avataneo.
Avataneo.
Avataneo. And
That's me. Hi,
yes.
hi, Maria.
Hi, and Alessandro is, we had the other writer on, Vittorio Manganelli, of the Great Atlas of Wine in Italy, and Alessandro is the other writer. He's also a filmmaker, and he's done some films about wine. So we're going to talk to Alessandro today. He has some very interesting things to tell us. And Alessandro, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be
Yes,
here with you.
and
Thanks.
the book is the Big Atlas of Italian wines, or Il Grande Atlanta di Vino
El Vino
Italiano.
Italiano, I have it here,
Yes, there you
three,
go, Il
three
Grande.
kilograms, three
Ah,
kilos.
oh my goodness, 2 kilos. Yes.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's in
not big.
English and Italian. And
Yes.
Alessandro, tell us about the film you were telling us. So, is this a new film, the film you were talking about?
No, actually, that was my first feature film, A Tale of the Hills. I
Okay.
started it when I was 22 years old.
Uh-huh.
And at that time, I had these two great teachers. One is Vittorio Manganelli, who is
Manganelli.
one
Uh-huh.
of the best wine critics in Italy, and it's the best critic of Barolo area. And the other was Renato Dominici, who was one of the greatest gastronomers in Italy in the 80s and in the 90s. So he taught me everything about food. And
Uh-huh.
that led me to write the other book, Kitchen Run, which is a collection of stories of the 70 great food thinkers and gastronomers and cooks and confectioners all over the world, and Michelin star restaurants all over the world. But about wine, going back to your question, the first feature film was A Tale of the Hills, and it was the story of the wine civilization of Lange, particularly from the perspective of a young winemaker who was a rising star in the 90s. His name was Matteo Correggia,
Uh-huh.
and unfortunately, he passed away in a terrible accident. But it's also a beautiful story of friendship, because after his death, all his friends, his wife, together with the producer of the area, they helped Ornella, his wife, to get along and to keep making wine. And he made beautiful Barberas and Biolos. And so that was my first feature film. And then I kept traveling with the
Uh-huh.
University of Gastronomic Sciences, making documentaries about food and wine. And then I developed this friendship with Vittorio, and we tasted over the years thousands of wine together, and we built our friendship and our knowledge of wine, and I learned everything from him. And so we wrote the first edition of the Atlas in 2015, and
Uh-huh.
then meeting with Mondadori and Rizzoli, which is a wonderful publisher, they allowed us to make this big book, which is the ultimate collection of the wines that we recommend. Yes.
Yes, yes. And I should mention, not everyone knows that there is a university. It's in Piemonte, right?
This is,
The
it's
gastronomic university.
exactly, it's the University of Gastronomic Sciences of Pollenzo. It was founded by Carlo Petrini, by the slow food
Oh,
movement.
yes.
And it's 20 years ago, exactly in these days. So I used to
Yes.
work there, and I sometimes I teach there also today. And it's a beautiful place with people coming from all over the world to study gastronomic sciences, to study gastronomy as a complex science that brings within anthropology, economics, sociology, all these beautiful subjects that inspire people. And you can use gastronomy actually to change the mindset of people and to change the world. It's a beautiful place to be. Yeah.
Yes, very. And that is how you met Vittorio
Of
Manganelli, who
course,
teaches
you
there.
know,
And that's how you got
Victor,
together and did the book, right?
exactly. Vittorio, he used to be the director of all the libraries in Torino, and then he had this strong passion about wine. He was one of the founders of the Guida Vini d'Italia, the wine
Oh,
guide
yes, the Guida
in
Vini
Italy
Italian.
with Gambero Rosso and Slow Food. So
Yes,
he used to
yes.
write on that guide for 20 years, and then he was the first director of the university. I met him there. And then we developed this friendship over the years and almost 2 decades. So it's a beautiful friendship. And with Vittorio, we shared so many evenings tasting wines, always blind tastings. That's our favorite game, to cover the bottles and
Uh-huh.
to smell and try to guess where the wine comes from. And it was a big training for us to understand and discover this collection of amazing Italian wines. Yes.
So you can tell the region that the wine comes from by the taste and how
You
you,
know,
yes.
sometimes we can tell the area, and
Ah,
then we can tell the grape, And
Uh-huh.
sometimes when we are lucky or we remember something, Vittorio is amazing, but we have amazing friends that sometimes they say, okay, this is a 99 Barolo from Elio Altare, and that's it. So
Uh-huh.
it's like it's kind of magic. It's
Yes, it's like a
having
magic.
this huge database of memories together, because wine consolidates memories in your mind, and so
Yes,
you
yes.
remember the smell. The smell is the most powerful sense. Like Proust used to say, with the Madeleine, when you smell something, you immediately go back to that memory. And so
Yes.
wine aficionados, they always fix their memories. They put their memories in the
That
database. Thanks
smell, on
to
that scent, on
smell.
that scent.
Yes, on the
Yes,
scent
yes.
of wine.
So tell us, are there any wines that are, I would say, wines from grapes that maybe are from the past that they're bringing back? I know Pecorino, right? They brought that
Yes,
back a
yes,
while
Pecorino
ago.
is from Marche area,
Yes,
and
the Marche.
Marche is a beautiful region where I work a lot, because
Oh,
there is a lot of potential in that area, because you can imagine Tuscany, but
mhm.
more authentic, even
Yes,
more to explore, more wild, and it's peculiar. Is the region from where Leopardi, our greatest poet,
yes,
from,
yes, from, yes, yes,
so Marche wines are really, how can I say, raw, authentic.
yes,
We
they're,
love Verdicchio. We
uh-huh.
think that Verdicchio is one of the best white grapes of Italy.
And that's
But
from Le Marche. Le Marche, they're
yes,
doing Verdicchio.
it's from Marche, and but I understand that you like Pecorino and also Passerina. They have a
Oh,
funny
Pasadena. Yes, Pasadena. Oh, yes.
Passerina and Pecorino, lovely white grapes. So Italy is the country with the highest number of autochthonous grapes
Uh,
in the world. We have in the Atlas, I think, something like 1,000 grapes, something like that. Uh,
wow, 1,000 types of grapes.
Yes, in France, for example, they use around 200 grapes variety. In Italy, we use more than 1,000. So there is a huge biodiversity of people and grapes as
Uh-huh.
well. So you
Oh,
have
wow.
an amazing diversity of wines from Valle d'Aosta in the north
Yes.
to Sardinia and Sicily in the south.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So tell us about, I know people are always asking about wines of Tuscany. What are the wines in Tuscany?
Yes, because people in the United States, they love
Love
Tuscany because they
Tuscany.
know
Yes,
that
yeah,
idea of Italy. It's from the
yes,
movies, it's
yes.
from their memories. When they travel, they go to Firenze.
See,
But
yes.
Tuscany wine, there are some amazing wines out of Sangiovese grape. You
Uh-huh.
have three beautiful wines: Chianti Classico,
Yes,
Brunello di Montalcino, Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. They are made out of the same grape, which is Sangiovese.
yes.
But you have also other regions with amazing grapes
Uh-huh.
that have this potential. For example, Aglianico in the south
Uh-huh.
has the strength, the power, and the structure of a great Nebbiolo, a great Sangiovese. And you can find it in Campania, you can find it in Basilicata. And on the other side of Italy, in Marche region, you have Montepulciano, which is a very powerful red grape. So
Yes.
my advice is let's go travel to Italy and discover the little and unknown region with their specific grapes.
Yes,
Yes,
you're
that's my
absolutely
advice.
right. I think that is a better idea than going to where everybody knows, that's famous Tuscany or
Of
just
course.
it's better to go to the little, I lived in Abruzzo for many years. My family was from there. So I know there
So
is some, yes,
Montepulciano,
Montepulciano
absolutely.
d'Abruzzo. Yes, yes. And I asked Vittorio the difference between what is the difference between Montepulciano d'Abruzzo and the Montepulciano in Tuscany? Because people in America, they don't know that.
Because it's
So
very confusing. We have a
yes,
system. So Montepulciano in Tuscany is a place, and
Yes.
Vino Nobile di Montepulciano is made of Sangiovese.
Yes.
While Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is a grape variety, and you can
Yes.
find beautiful Montepulciano wines in Abruzzo and
Yes.
in Marche area as well.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So my
Yes.
advice is to travel and discover Italy through wine. And when you cannot come to Italy, drink our wines, and you will travel with your mind and memories to Italy.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. So he was telling us, and I know when I was in Tuscany, they had a wine called, am I pronouncing it correctly? Sassicaia?
Of course, that's the most
Yes.
famous wine, Italian wine in the US. Everybody wants to drink Sansicaya.
Uh-huh.
And it's a great wine. It's elegant. It has this international appeal. Nobody can say Sassicaia is not good. Sassicaia is always amazing. But
Uh-huh.
that's the wine that conveys an idea of design. It's a wine. It's an intellectual wine.
I
It makes
see.
you feel good,
Uh-huh.
but it doesn't make you think. It doesn't talk to you. It's a statement.
It's yes,
It's also
yes,
a status symbol, Sassicaia.
yes, yes,
So my,
yes,
my advice is, okay, drink Sassicaia when you can afford it, but then you
yes,
have other hundreds of amazing wines that you have to try depending on the right situation. With two
yes.
people, I would advise a certain type of wine. If you with your loved one, I would advise other type of wine. If for your birthday, I would advise other wine. So the right wine depends on the situation, on how you feel, what you feel like to drink tonight.
And Sassicaia is produced in, is it produced in
Tuscany.
any, in Tuscany, right?
It's produced in Bolgheri. Bolgheri is this small area on the coast of the
Of
Tyrrhenian
Tus
Sea in Tuscany. Yes,
yes, I
very dry area, and it
yes,
was an amazing achievement of these producers to create from nothing
right.
uh, such amazing wines, importing the French grapes in Tuscany. So you can feel the elegance of the French grapes, and you can feel the terroir of Tuscany together in a perfect
Yes.
balance.
So that's
Yes.
why it's so it's very expensive. It's
It's
one of the
really
most
expensive.
expensive.
I think it's
Yes,
$300, and in the
yes.
restaurant you can find it at 600,
Yes,
$700.
yes. And there are so many, like you said, really good wines that you can find in small regions that
Of
are very
course.
good. One of my favorite wines from Piedmont is Bracchetto d'Acqui. That's my one of
Oh,
my
you
favorite
like
wines.
Bracchetto?
I like Bracchetto. Well, you know
Yes.
why we have that for celebrate, for birthdays, for New Year's Eve.
Perfect. It's an
Yes.
alternative to Moscato. Yes, yes.
Ah, yes, yes.
It's a red alternative. Did you try Grignolino? It's one of my favorite.
What's that called?
Grignolino.
No, no.
Grignolino.
Green. Uh-huh.
Grolino. Grignolino.
Brignolino. No, I've never tried.
Used to be the grape of the kings in the Middle Ages. It used to be more important than Nebbiolo, and now it has been rediscovered. And it's a daily wine. It's very dry, pleasant. It's a wine for the hot afternoon, something like that,
Oh, yeah, so it's
Uh,
refreshing.
it's
Brignolino.
lighter, refreshing in the best version. Then you have some
Yes,
very bad versions. So you have
yes.
to read the atlas to get the right list
To get the right
of
list of where it's
of each
produced.
wine, of
Yes,
course.
yes. That's
Yes.
wonderful. Alessandro, thank you so much. We're almost out of time. Thank you so much for being here. Do
It was a
you have
pleasure.
a website? Do you have any films coming up that we can look for?
Not at the moment, but I have a website because
Yes.
I also have a company of my ex-students who are writers about film, art, and poetry, and the platform is called Hypercritic. So
Hypercritic. Uh-huh.
yes, because we are not just wine critics, we are also art critics, literature critics,
Yes.
film
Yes,
critics.
yes.
And so this platform is called Hypercritic, and is coming also to the US. Actually, a half of our readers are from the US. So
Oh,
we are very
really?
proud of that. And you can find a collection of the best movies, poems, books, and art pieces that you can fill your life with beauty. And then
Yes.
if you read the atlas, you can drink
You
together
can
some
drink
wine.
together with the wine. Yes. Thank you so much. And
Thank
please
you.
come back next time you have any other projects. It was very
Absolutely.
interesting. I loved
It's a
having you on.
pleasure. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Maria.
Ciao. Ciao.
Sizzle in the kitchen with me and my Gourmand World award-winning book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking. Unleash your inner chef and transform your meals into Italian masterpieces. Get your copy today of The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, Holidays and Special Occasions, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, Da Vinci Style, and The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, and taste the passion of Italy. You can get your copies on Amazon.com, at marialiberati.com, at artoflivingprimamedia.com, on Kindle, and anywhere books are sold.
And my special guest today is Vittorio Manganelli. Yes, he is, well, he's a sommelier, he's a wine expert, and he's also one of the writers of this wonderful new, really a big book. It's the big atlas of Italian wine. So there you can find out everything you need to know about Italian wines. And Vittorio is going to tell us about a little bit about Italian wines. You know, maybe he can recommend some good ones, tell us about some that people may not be familiar with. So Vittorio, oh, and Vittorio's in Turin today, so we're going to Turin, Italy, to Torino. Vittorio, ciao, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Well,
yes, how did you get
we decided
the
the
idea
idea.
to get the book? Yeah. Oh, there's the book, A Grande Atlanta di Vino Italiano, the big atlas of Italian wines.
It's very big, as you
Yes,
can see.
it is very big, very big. How did you,
Well,
I know you wrote the book with Alessandro also. Is that correct? So you both wrote it. How did you get the idea to write this book?
because there are not so many books about the Italian wine.
Yes,
And we decided to have a very long and travel region for region, appellation for appellation, vineyards from vineyards, because in the world we have a lot of famous wine.
yes,
Every lover knows Sassicaia, for example, or San
yes.
Brunello's, or so on. But in Italy, we have a lot of different wines. So we have decided to talk maybe about the 200 most important appellations from Barolo to Etna on the
Yes,
volcano in the Sicily, the
yes.
most European high volcano, where they now, for example, are going to realize very, very interesting wines. 20 years ago, it wasn't in this way. But now, for example, Etna or Bulgari. Bulgari is now famous because of Sassicaia, of course. But 30 years ago, Bulgari didn't exist. It
Uh-huh,
was a very, very little reality of the wine in Italy
uh-huh.
30 years ago. Now, and when we have this travel, a trip from Piedmont, Valle and the little but
Yes.
really interesting Valle d'Aosta to the Sicily and to the Isle of Sardinia.
Oh,
And this is what we decided to make the book also in English. And there is recently published from Rizzoli International, the Great Atlas of Italian
Italian
Wines.
wine. Vittorio, can you, I know what Sassicaia is, and you know what it is, but a lot of people in America don't really know what that is, what type of wine, or can you tell us about that wine?
I can tell about, excuse me,
Sassicaia?
For
They make
example,
it.
yes,
Yes.
yes. We decided to make it easier to publish also the most important labels of Italian wines, region from region. Maybe in Piedmont, a lot of people knows Barolo Monfortino, maybe
Right.
it's
Yeah.
really famous, or Bruno Giacosa, Barbaresco, and Barolo are very famous in the United States too, for example. But we have a lot of other very important. The idea is to make easy to find the good Italian producers. In Italy, we have 40,000 different producers of wine, a lot. 40,000, 45. We here put just the name of 1,500. So we have a choice, a very strong choice of the best of quality. And to make easier to understand how Italian wines are, if you don't know, for example, maybe you don't know Barbera or Dolcetto in Piedmont, for example, or Primitivo in Apulia. I don't know. We have decided to make a very, very simple figure where you can find the most important particularity, the personality of single wine. Is Barbera very acid or not? Dolcetto is if you think to Dolcetto d'Alba is famous also, is stronger or easier, is more alcoholic when you speak about Barbera. So we have what is the difference from Chianti Classico, and now is very, not just now, but is always better, is going very, very, very well in the world, from Brunello di Montalcino. There are differences, of course, and so we can try to describe from Barolo from Barbaresco. There are two wines very similar. They are made from Nebbiolo, both, but there are little differences between these two kind of wines. So we can try to explain and make it easy to understand.
Yes, yes, very good. Can you tell people the difference between Montepulciano d'Abruzzo and Montepulciano from Toscano?
Yes,
Tell
it's a
people, I know what the
historical
difference
problem.
is, but tell people because many people don't understand that they are two different wines.
Yes, yes, but Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is made with Montepulciano grape, very strong, very important, tannic, rich of alcohol, and it's a vine that you can find in Abruzzo, in Apulia too, sometimes in Umbria, in the central Italy. Vino Nobile di Montepulciano is completely different because it's made with Sangiovese. So the vine of Chianti and Brunello di Montalcino, completely different, and it's not so stronger. And Sangiovese, a lead with a strong acidity that Montepulciano d'Abruzzo doesn't have, for make an example. So the name is horrible, and every 5 years there is a problem with courts, lawyers, and so on. Why you say Montepulciano? Vino Nobile di Montepulciano is a very, very good expression of Sangiovese. Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is a really important and strong, but made with a little less acidity,
Yes.
more full in your mouth,
Yes.
and it's another kind.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Yes, many people always are confused, I know, about the difference. Wonderful. Vittorio, thank you so much for being here. So people can find the book, The Great Atlas of Italian Wines, on Amazon. I know Rizzoli is the
Of course,
publisher,
of course.
and
And
Alessandro will be talking to me soon today. So we will have Alessandro on also.
later, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes. He
later
told me. He
today.
told me.
Yes, yes, yes. Great. Well, thank you so much for being here, Vittorio. Thank
Thank
you.
you. When you need something about Italian wines,
Wine.
I know.
Yes, we will definitely be talking to you again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for listening to the Maria Liberati Show, and thanks for being a part of it. And hoping that you learned something today from our special guests, top wine critics, authors of the book, The Big Atlas of Italian Wine. And as always, special thanks to my producer, Britton Roselle. And you can find me at marialiberati.com, on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati, on Instagram at Maria Liberati, on Pinterest at Maria Liberati, on Twitter at Maria Liberati. On Vimeo, you can find videos of many of our podcasts on Maria Liberati, and the YouTube channel is The Maria Liberati Show, and there you can also find many videos of some of the podcasts that we've done. And you can also find my Gourmand World award-winning book series, where you'll find lots of recipes to pair with Italian wines. You can find the book series on Amazon, on Kindle, and at the publisher's website, artoflivingprimamedia.com, and on my website, marialiberati.com, and really anywhere books are sold. And until next week, peace, love, and pasta.